The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. And this is the testimony of John. When the Jews from Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to him to ask him, "Who are you?" he admitted and did not deny it, but admitted, "I am not the Christ." So they asked him, "What are you then? Are you Elijah?" And he said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." So they said to him, "Who are you, so that we can give an answer to those who sent us? What do you have to say for yourself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the desert, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as Isaiah the prophet said." Some Pharisees were also sent. They asked him, "Why then do you baptize if you are not the Christ or Elijah or the prophet?" John answered them, "I baptize you with water, but there is one among you whom you do not recognize, the one who is coming after me, whose sandal strap I am not worthy to untie." This happened in Bethany across the Jordan, where John was baptizing. The Gospel of the Lord. So this is Gaudete Sunday. Gaudete Sunday is Rejoice Sunday. And many would say, there's nothing to rejoice about. For the last 9 months, we've been locked up in our homes. We've been prevented from doing many of the things that we've grown accustomed to. Some would say we're losing our freedom. And so there are people who are losing their jobs, they're losing their homes, they're losing their livelihood, they're losing their loved ones, they're losing their health, they're losing. But what if there was a system? What if there was a way? What if there was something that everything that you and I lost could be restored? What if there was such a way? What if that were possible, that no matter what we lost, whether it was intentional or unintentional, that it would all be restored to us? Well, the Jewish people had such a way. The Jewish people had such a system. It was called Jubilee. And the Jewish people were told that every 50 years, after 7 cycles of 7 years, and after 49 years, and on the 50th year, it was a year of restoration. And so people who had fallen into indentured servitude were released. And you got to remember that back then the land was everything, and there were 12 tribes, and God had apportioned land to each and every one of the tribes except the tribe of Levi, because Levi's portion was the Lord. They were the priests. But every other tribe, every family was given land. And that was their sacred inheritance. And sometimes people had to sell the land because they had fallen into debt or they lost the land for whatever reason. But on the 50th year, slaves were freed and land was restored back to its rightful owner. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so listen to what Jesus is telling us through the prophet Isaiah. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me. He sent me to bring glad tidings to the lowly and to the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty, to release the captives, and to announce release to prisoners. A year of favor from the Lord, a day of vindication, restoration. Restoration. And that is what John is proclaiming in the desert. The one who has come to restore us is among us. But John says that we do not recognize his presence. Not we, but the world does not recognize the presence of the one who has been sent to release and to restore. To release and to restore. I want to share something from the book of Wisdom. It says here that the age that is honorable comes not with the passing of time, nor can it be measured in terms of years. In other words, you can't tell if a person is wise by the color of their hair or their age. You can be 25 years old and wise beyond your years, and be 125 years old and be as foolish as a 16-year-old. Rather, understanding is a hoary crown for men, and an unsullied life the attainment of old age. For the witchery of paltry things obscures what is right, and the whirl of desire transforms the innocent mind. The witchery of paltry things obscures what is right. In other words, the fascination that we have for things that are meaningless. The fascination that we have for things that are meaningless. Temporal things, things that are passing away. Things that are passing away. Got to get my Christmas shopping done on Black Friday. Got to get those discounts. It's like that new car. After 3 days, it's just another car. For the witchery of paltry things obscures what is right, blinds us, distracts us, diverts our attention away from what is true, good, and beautiful. And the whirl of desire transforms the innocent mind. But the people saw and did not understand, nor did they take this into account. And so we spend tremendous amounts of time, talent, resources, energy, our entire lives focusing on things that aren't going to matter, because we have to leave it all behind. And fat bank accounts go to people who don't even care about us, and they know how to spend it. And so John is that voice crying out in the desert, "Make straight the path of the one who has come to release and to restore, to declare that year of favor, that Jubilee." Christmas is Jubilee. Christmas is the announcement that the year of favor is here every day. Every day. And so St. Paul tells us, "May the God of peace himself make you perfectly holy." Why? Because the way needs to be prepared for that. We need to remove all those things in our lives that would prevent us from being renewed and restored and be given what it is that we are truly searching for, that this world cannot, has never been able to, and will never be able to provide. There is nothing here that is lasting. And so Paul says, "May God make you perfectly holy, entirely, spirit, soul, and body." I'm going to stop right there because it's important that we understand what he's saying there. Spirit, soul, and body represents the essence of the person. Threefold. Spirit, soul, and body. The body is the material frame of the person, flesh and blood. But we are more than flesh and blood. The soul of the person is the immaterial principle of life that God breathes into us at our conception. It is the breath of God in each and every human person. The Ruah. That's the soul that God breathes into every single one of us. The immaterial principle of life. And the spirit of the person is the human capacity for prayer and worship. That is what is attacked in us. The frame of the person, flesh and blood, bone and marrow, the breath of life of God in each and every one of us, the soul of the person. And the spirit of the person is attacked as well, so that we don't pray and offer proper worship to God. I've been saying for some time, what is going on in our culture when people are afraid to come to Mass, but they are not afraid to go to the grocery store? They're not afraid to go Christmas shopping. They're not afraid to touch everything that everybody else touches, but I can't come to Mass. There's something sinister about that. It's a lie. It's a lie. And it is keeping people from the Holy Eucharist. I am concerned about Eucharistic deprivation in the life of people. If Jesus is the one sent by the Father to renew and restore us, and the Eucharist is Jesus, present on the altar, body, blood, soul, and divinity, then there's a connection that isn't being made in the hearts and minds of some people. And this is why, my brothers and sisters, Paul says, rejoice. Pray without ceasing. In all circumstances, give thanks. Because we live and wait in hope for the coming of the Lord, Paul says. And the one who calls you is faithful, and he will accomplish his promise. This is Jubilee. This is why we are celebrating Gaudete Sunday, Rejoice Sunday. Yes, this pandemic has been awful, painful, terrible. People have lost. But the God of Jesus Christ has come to restore us, to set us free. There is nothing that we are going to lose that cannot be restored in his name. In his name. And so Paul says that this God has come to restore us, body, soul, and spirit. That the essence of the human person is raised up. And you know what it says in the book of the prophet Isaiah? That God has clothed me with a robe of salvation. He's clothed me like a bride. Because that's what the church is. The bride of Christ. And Christ is the groom. And he has come to clothe us, to renew us, to restore us. And so we have to stop listening to the spirit of the world, which lies, and begin to pay more attention to Christ. For the witchery of paltry things obscures what is right, and the whirl of desire transforms the innocent mind. And the people saw and did not understand, nor did they take this into account.